If you've heard about gang stalking before, I'm sure that you have heard people saying that gang stalkers wear a particular color, say a particular word, or do a particular hand gesture. However, did you know that gang stalker can sensitize people to hair color? And by sensitizing, I mean that convincing the target that every person who has red hair is a gang stalker. Gang stalkers did the intent of sensitizing me to people with red hair, and it was done in the following manner. First, typical gang stalking harassment. How is the harassment by gang stalker? Being rude, continuous interruption, asking the target redundant questions to the point of exhausting the mind of the target, and confusion on top of it. Gang stalking harassment is to make a clusterfuck out of the mind of a target, so that the target literally breaks its own mind down by having a lot of thoughts that make no sense. On top of that, there are literally lights shown upon the target's face and eyes. I'm telling you this because this happened to me. And also, gang stalkers are going to make sounds that are not gonna make sense. I was working at O'Reilly Auto Parts in Imperial Beach, and everyone there was a part of gang stalker. The general manager, business rivero, everyone knew what they were doing. And everyone literally were like bang on things, bang on the boxes, cough, sneeze, but not like what you expect in normal ambiance, but an absurd amount of noises. It was incredibly difficult to make sense of anything because there's so much turmoil in the store that the target, in this case it was I who was a target, is just confused. One doesn't know what to do. And like we said, confusion leads to indoctrination. So there is a point where your mind is extremely tired because it cannot make sense of reality. And that puts the target, in this case, it put me in a state of confusion where I was susceptible to anything. When this happened, my coworker, Juan, looked at me and out of the blue, with no context, said, "Red hair." Just like that, red hair. And I immediately knew I'm gonna get sensitized to red hair. Oh, how annoying. And next thing I know, Chanel comes in. Chanel is this crackhead, ghetto fabulous chick who was also a gang stalker. She had red hair. Awful job, by the way. But it was red nonetheless. So same gang stalking harassment. She had like a mischievous face on her face while she was wearing her fake Prada glasses. And she was making it a point that she had red hair. Like she was literally like playing with her fucking hair to make sure that I looked at it. So then I took care of her. She left. And then another woman with red hair came into the store. Very long, flowy red hair. And also her, she made it a point that she had red hair. People typically are not playing with their hair like dumbasses, but these people were. I took care of her, and then a dude came, this tall guy who's actually hot, but he's a gang stalker, so that immediately makes them utterly disgusting to me. But for some reason, gang stalkers assume that I want to have sex with them. For real. Like, he was acting really fucking, like, weird. Fucking queen-ass bitch. Anyways, this guy with, like, red hair. Again, he was, like, an actual redhead. And he was, like playing with his red beard. So, this happened, like, 6 or 7 times. And I was at the point where I was exhausted. So, like, I did get sensitized to red hair. But the thing is that I had been gang stalked for so long that like I was able to snap out of it right away. So then like the next day I like forgot about it. But the intent is the same and the intent is very real. The fact that I had so much experience getting gang stalked made it so that any type of sensitization became pointless. And if it worked for like 1 minute and then I was able to revert my psyche back to normal. But it took understanding of how my mind worked in order for me to be able to do that. If you're getting gang stalked, read Battle for the Mind by William Sargent. It's going to teach you how not to allow anyone to indoctrinate you. That book really saved me from the gang stalkers. It really did. So it is a psychological fact that people can get indoctrinated if there is enough stresses imposed on the individual. The truth of the matter is that there is no easy sensitization, and this sensitization has to be drilled a whole lot harder than it was actually drilled upon me. It is that, or I'm stubborn as fuck, which I am stubborn as fuck. And the moment that I grew knowledge of how the mind works, I was able to snap out of all the sensitizations that were actually done upon me. Now, when the sensitization overshadowed my consciousness, there was a point where I actually learned how to feel. When the imposition of the red hair by the gang stalkers was going to be put onto me, was accepted by my mind. Like, I felt it. It was crazy, but like, I felt it. I literally was able to feel when that was going to happen. So what I did is that I literally had to change that, and I literally kind of just retracted my mind, and I literally said it to myself. A lot of people have red hair. A lot of people have red hair, and I just had to keep saying that. And guess what? I denied actively what gang stalkers were trying to impose on my mind, and it worked. But it took me understanding what was actually happening, and it took me learning how it feels. Anyways, that was it for this video. This video was about how gang stalkers try to sensitize me to red hair. And the truth is that no, and fuck you, gang stalkers. That's the truth. And if you're a target, don't accept any type of sign that the gang stalkers want to impose on you, because once you accept it, it becomes your reality. So if you feel that gang stalkers are pushing a color, do not tie the color to gang stalker. Think of beautiful things that are that color. That way, gang stalkers are actually gonna help you keep your mind clear of gang stalk. I was able to regain my psychological freedom once I understood how to deflect everything that gang stalkers were doing. And once I did that, I was able to snap out of it. I was able to get unconfused, and I was able to obtain more clarity in my entire gang stalking adventure. You want to call it that. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching, and subscribe. Okay, bye.